Hello and welcome to the Creator's Garden. I am called Harpy, and today we will be continuing working on the latest installment of the Snapdragon Club webcomic series, The Actress's Tale. So, what I've been doing for basically all the streams regarding progress on The Actress's Tale was that they'd basically be in order. But because there are a few panels that I am not sure would meet certain requirements, I'm going to be skipping a page and going to a different one that I think I can do on stream. And also, hello Dope, welcome, glad you can make it, hope you're doing well. But yeah, so not much more preamble needed. We'll go ahead and move on to the main camera. So as you can see, we have the panels already inked out along the borders, and we have the dialogue boxes also already done. And just a little bit of the inking has already been done as well, mostly because it's like, I feel like those are the ones that really needed black color details, especially for this guy who I decided to call Welder because he's wearing a welder's mask. And I'm also fine with saying that because it's hardly all too relevant information. So, yeah. Alright. I think I'm just going to grab a couple of different pens and hopefully get the inking done fairly quickly. And if not, that's alright too. Because after this one, I have that. And then the page behind it. So basically, after today, it'll be a while before I do any comic progress on streams. Just because I think the next couple of pages are going to be iffy, and I'd rather not risk anything. Hold off until I think I'm back to having pages that I think are safe to make progress on stream. Also, hopefully the audio quality is doing well. Hopefully the music isn't too loud or anything. You understand? Yeah. It's because Actress's Tale is like, it is slightly darker, I think, than The Hunter's Tale in terms of the stories I've told so far. Only slightly. Maybe. But I'd say if I were to give Actress's Tale a rating, probably a PG-13. Like, yeah. that being said, even though this is, you know, a little, just slightly darker of a story than I usually would tell, I think I still really like how this is going. At the very least, it's a good way for me to at least try and see, like, where are my strengths and weaknesses at in regards to this type of storytelling. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm absolutely, like, knocking it out of the park or anything. Everyone who's in chat or watching the VOD is doing well. The Creator's Garden has been mostly quiet, luckily, but I've had a couple of issues with a couple of things in the palace falling apart, so just trying to get that taken care of. I think as a creator that I'd be able to, like, just, I don't know, snap my fingers and make things happen, but it's not, I still have to make the effort, you know? I can't just think about it and it comes true. It just, I have to kind of at least be in the vicinity and look at the problem. I'm still in the midst of trying to get the actress's tale done. I was trying to come up with more ideas for my next comic project. Basically the next installment of the Snapdragon Club series. But I've still yet to make a decent, like, plan of action, if you will. perhaps there's a character we can ramble about. Of course it would give me Mackenzie. The exact protagonist that I am working on. Thank you. Thank you, Stream Elements. That is precisely what I needed. But sure, we can talk about Mackenzie. We can give some behind-the-scenes lore about her. For instance, it's been a while since I brought this up, but in terms of like the conception for her design, Mackenzie actually started out as a Silent Hill OC. And basically, it was the same deal. She was an actress, and she ends up in Silent Hill and gets chased by monsters and all sorts of stuff. So, from the beginning, she was meant to be a survival horror protagonist, which is why I chose her to, I suppose. The Actress's Tale is a little bit meant to introduce the idea of the continent of Auden, where Bogtown is located. And for those who haven't seen the Sanctus overview video, here's the world map that I have of Sanctus. It is still relevant so far. So, the stories of the Snapdragon Club. So the grand opening takes place in St. Flora, which is over here. And the Hunter's Tale takes place over here in Versailles, which is over here. And while technically all the present day parts of the comic of The Actress's Tale also take place in St. Flora, basically the entirety of the flashback takes place down here over in Bogtown. So you can see where there's some distance that needs to be crossed there. Hello, Nero. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Hope you're good. I am doing good, and I hope you're doing well, too. We just gotten started on inking one of the future comic pages for The Actress's Tale. As I've explained earlier, there are some pages that I don't think that YouTube would like, so I'm not going to do those on stream. And thus, this is going to be the last stream I do in regards to comic progress for a while, until I can figure out what other pages I can do on stream that would be safe to do so without invoking YouTube's wrath. Alright, just playing Wua and Wuthering Waves, and doing an event that started in the back half of Anypatch. Cool. I'm honestly not too familiar with Wuthering Waves. All I know is it exists. was just trying to look for another conversation topic that I can possibly bring up. Yes, Wuthering Waves. It's Genshin-like as far as gachas go, but with better exploration and more respect for your time. Well, if that is true, then more power to it, I suppose. I'm always a little bit wary of gachas myself. Let's see if we can't get a different character we can talk about. Dreamwalker. Dreamwalker's fun. Especially since I made myself a cute little Dreamwalker doll. I'm not the best when it comes to sewing anything, but it is a fun little hobby I like to do on the side whenever I can. Gacha's very prone to EOS. I'm not sure I know what that stands for. But the storytelling and combat are the best parts. I will take your word for it. But anyways, Dreamwalker. So far, he's only technically appeared in the grand opening comic, which in itself is a very... it was my attempt to do a sort of slice of lifestyle storytelling. And it was basically the first comic that was like publicly made available. But technically, the first in the Snapdragon Club series that I've ever made would be the Sanctus pilot, which is 20 pages long and is only available on Ko-fi and Patreon. But it is available for a very small amount, so if you ever wanted to see one story where Scotty Hijack and Dreamwalker both heavily feature as the main protagonists, then that would be for you. But of course, that's only if you're able to, you know? Dreamwalker is one of the many fae that populate the continent of Osen, which is basically the main continent that's full of fairy tale things. Like, you got, you know, anthropomorphic people, you have dragons, and you have fae. And then, of course, you have the humans who have traveled to Sanctus or to that continent in some form or another. Some have been there long enough to have actually been born there, but otherwise a decent amount of humans are still, you know, sort of being immigrated. End of service, I see. Got a fat stream archive that's most of the first 4 arcs of the game, which were only around the 6th story arc. Ooh, nice. It just turned 2 years old this last month. Ah. Well, at least you're having fun with it, right? Hello, JR. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. I hope you're doing well. As you can see so far, we've got a decent amount of the inking done for this page. Let me know if you guys have, like, any questions about the world of Sanctus or about any of the characters. Or just any of the stories in the Snapdragon Club series in general. Depending on the character, it might be a while before we get to see them in their own proper story. What exactly is the Creator's Garden? Is it like a moon that goes around Sanctus? Very close. You're basically on the right track. So where the Creator's Garden is placed, it's like a sort of orbiting mini-planet, I suppose you could say, that the people of Sanctus are definitely not aware of. And hopefully the Demon Realm is also not aware of anymore. But yes, it is essentially within view of Sanctus. And probably if someone on Sanctus were looking through a telescope, it would barely be able to see like a shadow of a rock. It would probably look like a silhouette of an asteroid from far away. Just sort of floating about in space, but no one has any idea that it's here. No one on Sanctus anyways. And the Creator's Garden, it just used to be a place where a whole species of creators existed. But now there isn't, and I'm the last one. So now it's just me and the Borbs, and now the Borb fish. Outside of making these streams so I'm not feeling so lonely out here in the midst of space, I'm also trying my best to keep watch over Sanctus because I created it. It is a world that hopefully fulfills its purpose in being, of living up to its namesake. It is supposed to be a sanctuary that the Demon Realm can't find, so that the devastation that happened to the Creator's Garden doesn't happen to anyone else. Or if it does happen, that they have a safe place to, flee to. you guys just want to like keep me yapping about anything but have no idea what to ask about, that's what the Sanctus Cara chat command is for. It'll generate a random Sanctus character, and I will do my best to just blab about some lore or behind the scenes of like how I made their designs and stuff like that. Done inking this page. I just lost a run of the roguelite mode of the event. I lost because I picked the absolute worst pre-battle companion without realizing it. Oh well. Hopefully there's next time. Always next run, yep. The nature of roguelites. It's been a hot minute since I played any of those types of games. I believe I've played Darkest Dungeon. I've only beat it on Radiant mode because, yeah. I've played, what is it? I played Slay the Spire. I've also, like, basically, for Slay the Spire, I've almost, like, gotten everything. I beat it with basically all the different hero types. But I still haven't, like, I haven't been able to defeat the Heart of Darkness. So, there's that. I've also played Monster Train, I believe it's called. Which, that was really fun for a while, but man, can it get definitely infuriating. I don't think there's any other roguelites that come to mind. But those are the ones I can name off the top of my head. The true pain is that I lost at the end of the run on the last boss. Yeah, that's what I think that's what usually happens with me on Monster Train as well. And Slay the Spire, if I'm being honest. Pulling out one of my characters that carries my teams on their backs. Yeah. Makes sense. Make sure I erased as much as I could, because if I leave any unerased sketch marks, I basically can't erase it once I lay down the color. The pencil marks will just be stuck there forever. Not the worst thing in the world if it does happen. It just makes it look slightly messier. But personally, it doesn't. I don't feel like it affects the end result a whole lot. Inked so far. Jane, welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. 'Tis a comic I see, it is. So, just to recap, what we're working on today is the latest installment of the Snapdragon Club comic series. This is The Actress's Tale that I'm working on, which is basically gonna delve into some survival horror aspects. So this is actually going to be like the last stream for a while in terms of showing any progress on this comic, because we're gonna start delving into panels that I don't think are safe for YouTube. So I'd rather not risk it. I would rather not risk it for this biscuit. And yeah. But rest assured, there will still be progress being made on this comic even when I'm not showing it on stream. And sometime this year, I'll start posting pages of The Actress's Tale on the Tumblr. So for those who don't know how to read the Snapdragon Club comic, it is available on Tumblr under the Ask Sanctus webcomic blog. Rather not go to Tumblr for whatever reason, I also have comic dub versions of The Wanderer's Tale and The Hunter's Tale, and the grand opening is available in sort of a slideshow format as well. Mr. Fairman, welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Feel in sketchbook 2, careful when you turn the page. Yeah, no, so that's why we have a protective sheet in the back of the page so that the ink doesn't bleed through. And yes, this is a brush tip on the alcohol marker. Some of these have like brush tip and broad nib dualities on them. Others have broad nib and fine nib, like this one. So instead of a brush, it has a fine nib. I can make do with pretty much any of them, and they all have their like different purposes and stuff. But for the most part, I can make do. I'm just trying to remember what to color things. Oh. And thank you, Feather King. I think one thing that I will be glad to have behind me once this comic is done is not having to draw Mackenzie's makeup again and again, because I am so tired of drawing her makeup. realization. Mackenzie's wearing makeup. She's crying. Gosh darn it, I'm going to have to draw smeared makeup. Waiting for the day Harpy shares the secret sketchbook. There is no secret sketchbook. You shush. There is no secret sketchbook and there's no war in Ba Sing Se. Out of curiosity, what would you consider a secret sketchbook? Just one that I haven't shared with you? Because I feel like there's a great number of sketchbooks that would fit under that. One does not draw in a vacuum, after all. It's many years of doodling and drawing whatever in the world I can just some poses and test images. You're checking out the Patreon too? I mean, there's a decent amount of stuff going on the Patreon. Like, I try to do more on the Ko-fi just because I like seeing, like, the little... Ko-fi is the only one that gets, like, the stream notifications if you, like, join or buy a boba on there. Or, like, buy stickers. But I do update the Patreon with the basically the high quality scanned versions of the pages, because when I upload the pages to Tumblr, I have to decrease the image size by a whole lot, so it's still like readable, it's still legible, but it is definitely a lot smaller. You know, lower quality. Not low quality, but lower. So, Patreon's the only one that'll allow me to upload bigger images, so that's where I put the bigger images. It's on Patreon. Boss beat me again, but this time it's because I forgot about the type advantage. Ah, darn. And Jay, what do you mean in this comic? Which comic are you reading? Because within the Snapdragon Club, so far, there is the grand opening comic, which is basically completely digitally drawn. There's the Wanderer's Tale, which is a 20-page reader point of view comic. And there's also the Hunter's Tale, which has Crystal as the main character. But also available on the Ko-fi and Patreon is the Sanctus webcomic, the Sanctus Pilot webcomic, which is basically the first ever, attempt at doing a comic within the world of Sanctus that follows Dreamwalker and Scotty Hijack. Coloring is so pretty right there. You mean Ruby Merchant? Yeah, I love coloring him so much. He's just a right amount of spooky. Concerned if I get past the edges on this, because I do plan on putting a dark background here. That emotion is insane. Again, Jay, you're gonna have to be more specific. There's a lot of panels, there's a lot of emotions going on. And also, you just mentioned that you were looking at the Patreon, so I don't know if you're still looking at that. Or if you're just talking about the current page that I'm doing. Bottom right. Planned on taking the day off drawing, but now I'm motivated because of you. Aww. That's sweet. But also, yeah, I guess I do kind of like the emotion on this one. Like, if there's one thing I really do enjoy drawing, it's just expressions and especially the eyes, you know? Sure you're also taking stretches and stuff too. But it does make me happy if I can inspire others to be creative too. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when we create stuff, and then we show others, it's like we're connecting to each other, you know? Even if it's just, hey, cool drawing. But sometimes you can inspire others to be like, hey, that's a cool drawing. I want to make something cool too. Hey, the process of drawing looks like fun. And I want to see if I can do that too. And I think it's always great to be able to share that. I think your break did you a bit of good. Not super proud of the page I'm working on, but I'm doing it anyhow. I mean, not everything's gonna be a magnum opus, and that's okay. Not even a good chunk of the panels that I'm working on right now I would consider like remotely my best work. Because, you know, they're just one panel. I got several panels to go, man, if I want this story done. Says the awesome creator Harpy. You're one of the reasons I started trying. I bring him back in another story eventually, but he's the one you nicknamed me based on. Aww. I mean, the fourth wall repairman is just such a cute and neat concept. Like, the moment I saw, like, your blog on him on Tumblr, I was just like, oh, that is so neat. And, you know, I had the Toon Girl for a while, so it's like, that is so neat. And it's so fun, and we can have, like, just little jokes about breaking the fourth wall, and it was great. So, yeah. And I mean, there's... Okay, so, in a meta sense, artist speaking, the whole, like, concept of Sanctus. I've talked about this in a prior stream, I'm sure, but the reason I created Sanctus was that I had a whole bunch of characters whose concept I absolutely loved, but in their current form and their current stories or their current backgrounds, there was nowhere I could go with them. Whether it be because they were fan characters or just other things, like maybe they needed a couple of tweaks in their design or just something. And it's like, I felt like the concepts were too good just to be left, you know, to collect dust on a shelf. That I was like, alright, I'm bringing them all back, and they're gonna live here now. So that's why they're in Sanctus now. Even if they don't get their own proper stories, that's where they're living now. Somewhere in Sanctus is some of my old OCs in some form or another. And that's where they're living their happily ever afters. It's not so much the process as the progress that hooks me. That's fair. And I think for me personally, it has to be the process. Because, like, I can look back and be like, oh, look at the progress I made. but that's not going to motivate me to keep going. I have to like what I'm doing. Thanks. I have ideas for the repairman and co that I don't think I executed well, or could have executed back then. So they're getting their own non-toe and turf concept one day. Nice. I feel that I have fan characters I cannot file the serial numbers off, so in the fix they stay. Yeah. I have others I could port. That sounds like a good idea. I mean, look, the thing is, I am one of those people who, like, whenever they get into a new fandom or something, you know, some other new piece of other media, like a new show or a movie comes out that I absolutely love and would like to, like, explore the world of, or explore the characters of, I will, like, almost always be making an OC at some point. I would be making a fan character. And because I do it so often, a lot of the times it's easier for me to port an old character that I've used before that I think I could just sort of rework and slightly redesigned to fit into this new world and be like, okay, yeah, now I can play around with a whole lot more and see what would these dynamics be like and how would they fit into this world and so on and so forth. One of my biggest examples that I can think of at the moment is one of my longest standing original characters, who is currently known as Tomtress. But she's actually been through several fandoms under different names, but the basic design has stayed relatively the same. And at one point, she was my fan character for The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And there's a whole... there are a number of characters I have that, you know, have come from different fandoms and whatnot. But yeah, Billy and Mandy wasn't even like where she originated from. She originated from way, way back. So you need a Harpy fan character? Well, you can if you'd like. That's the other thing about Sanctus, is that, again, meta-wise, I created Sanctus so that it could be very much as open sandbox as it possibly could. So that just about any character that you could think of that was previously an OC, whether you like originally made it as a fan character and wanted to port it in, or you know, you wanted to make a character for Sanctus, then it would be like fairly easy to do that. Like going back to the world map for a second because I have this on hand. So this is actually like one of the lore tidbits if you use the exclamation lore. But So these 4 continents, I basically base them around like 4 different genres. We have like high fantasy here. That's where you have your dragons and your fae and your anthropomorphic species. So basically like the bee folk or the cat folk, the snake folk who are called naga. And there's also like bird folk, dog folk, that sort of thing. You know, you could basically put your furries in there, you know? And then over here we have more modern fantasy, where yes, there are still dragons, but there's also like large fauna there. There's large beasts there. That's where Crystal and the Hunters come from. But they also have like a more modern human society. It's majority human society over here. And then over here is basically the survival horror area, where, you know, you have your creepy dilapidated buildings and your monsters and stuff like that. And then this is a sci-fi area, which I have yet to completely solidify just yet. So there's not much to say about this area yet, but it exists. And also in terms of things that exist, there's also, you know, merfolk and sea creatures inhabiting the oceans and, you know, large bodies of water. So there is also that. So basically a lot of avenues in terms of like what sort of characters can exist in the world of Sanctus. And yes, I have a map. You can actually see the map also in the Sanctus overview video that I have. That's like right on my channel page. Duck Harpy. I mean, it wouldn't be too far off from my princess Borb. Like, see? I am a shapeshifter. Creating characters is tricky. Oh, hello, Jimbo. Welcome, welcome. Is this your first time here in the stream? I know some people like to change their username, so sometimes I can't tell. I apologize. I like the Discworld map, but they also had other dimensions too for some of the demons and magical beings. Ooh. Yeah, I've heard a lot of great stuff about Discworld. I just imagine the mages and scientists having a happy and concerning trait. Making characters is easy. Giving them life is really hard. True. So true. And Discworld is wonderful. You have the complete novel collection. Yeah, I remember you like giving plenty of praise to Discworld. I wouldn't say that my world building is nearly as thorough, but I'm also, you know, trying not to get too lost in the weeds. Where was I? Right. So I'm actually done with this, I think. So I need to use this one instead. Just grab some of these because I accidentally pushed them all the way over there. Oh wait, no, I wouldn't need this one because there's not that color there. creative, which I know a whole lot of you are creative in some form in the chat. And I hope all your projects and, you know, creative endeavors are going well. Or if you're taking a break from them, that's also completely valid. And also, if you're new in chat, feel free to help yourself to the chat commands that are shown right there at the bottom of the screen. I think the most fun ones are the ones that have the borbs, and also the exclamation fish command for going fishing in the little pond minigame there in the corner. Good starting book is Hogfather, especially in the winter. The premise is the version of Santa Claus went AWOL on the big night, so death was villain. Yeah, I have heard of that one, yeah. Funny, warm, heartfelt, and scary, yeah. Hogfather is good. My favorite for years was Reaper Man. But The Watchmen, I'm appreciating now. I know. The Borbs are yelling at me like, hey, put the music back on. Like most of the books part from the one with the witches, since the Aether wax gets on my nerves. Oh, what happened? Goodness, music, please. Weird Sisters Macbeth. Whenever some of the other Borbs pop up that have different noises outside of chirping, it sometimes jump scares me. Oh my gosh! Stop it! I mean, you do what you want, but That's what they're there for. You don't have to actually, but yeah. Character most too much, I'll skip ahead. I do the same with movies and shows. Yeah, I definitely get that. You had no idea that that's what poor OMG did. Well, now you know. It depends on the whining for me. Won't skip, but I'll either join in or check out. But yes, feel free to try out any of the other ones if you feel like it. It's always a fun time. And the Borbs appreciate the enrichment. The more I left that alone, the more I'm really liking that top panel right there. I did not think it was going to look as good as it did. spec for doing the comics with all markers. Ink is expensive. I got pit pastels to go with my marker collection. Oh, that's neat. And yeah, alcohol ink is definitely expensive. And the cheapest ink that I could find was from Blick Arts. So that's why, you know, when I heard that there was like a cheaper alternative to Copic, that's why I went with Ohuhu originally. Because I thought that was cheaper, but also still good quality. But then, you know, there was stuff about the way they were handling, how they were labeling their colors, and how they were handling, you know, replacement inks, which are, like, never available. It's really hard to deliver to a different dimension. But, yeah, so that's how I ended up being like, is there anything cheaper? And Blick Arts ended up being, you know, fairly on the cheaper side. The only thing is I had to just basically color match on my own, but that was alright. I just basically use my existing barrels and just try to match as closely as I can. Because I was definitely not going to go back. And not sponsored, not affiliated, by the way. just in case I need to have that out there. The years digitally, the cost was up front. Gotta respect supporting the pigmentation industry. I mean, I just enjoy using alcohol markers. I like seeing how they work in the process. And the way that they blend together is like nice. I mean, again, just look at this one. Especially like the colors on the beaker and the scale. I really like how those turned out. Set of 400 made of Copic, Newton Pro markers, Cure colors, and Spectrum Noir. Oh my goodness. That is a lot. I don't think I even have that many. I don't know. I want to say even less than 100. Like originally, my collection was super small. They were like hand-me-down markers. And that's how I got started, just trying them out. Because I remember like trying them once and thinking, this is too hard. I don't know how to use these. I'm not using them well. But now I'm just like, I love these. Just remembered one OC I have, but I have no idea what to do with. Inspired by Villainous. Edwin Carroll is a real reality TV host, writer, etc. focused on glowing villains from bad to worse. Ooh. Yeah. And also, I love Villainous. Villainous is also a good show that I hope comes back. Hopefully, one day. I've heard that it might, but yeah. Problem is, I had a gimmick and several barely connected elements. You should retool and rebuild them one day. You should. Only 90 of them are Copics. Still, that's a lot of Copics. Many of your markers are gifts. Yeah. And yeah, Villainous is good, yeah. Yep. And indeed, Villainous is another one of those shows in which I did create an OC. And if you've ever been to my art Tumblr, you might have seen when I made Rent-A-Bot. That was my OC at the time. I was considering doing some sort of like remake of that OC, but that inspiration has since dwindled, so that's on the back burner again. Spectrum Noir are good since you can buy palette sets of 48. Yeah, I can see that. I think I had a couple of the Ohuhu that were also like that many markers as well. Do you have OCs you are unable to detach from the original fandom? I probably do. The only one that I can think of currently that is not in Sanctus, that is still a fan character, is my Sonic OC, actually. I forgot what I renamed her. I think I renamed her to some name of a flower. But originally, she was called Zyram the Butterfly. She's still a butterfly character. And I've just not just recently, but I did attempt to redesign her a little bit after the third Sonic movie came out. But I haven't actually like gone too deep into her stuff yet, since a lot of the little backstory, I feel like I don't want to revisit the backstory, really. But at least I had a fan character. I mean, it's possible that I could, redesign her, since there are bee folk in Sanctus, as well as other types of anthrofolk. But yeah, I don't feel the need to port her to Sanctus, in a sense, just because she still has potential as a Sonic OC. So she will stay as she is for now. For me, my Splatoon Agent OC stand-ins are tied too deeply to canon for me to imagine making them a bootleg. Yeah, Sonic OCs are fun. Middle name is still the. Yeah, middle name is still the. Yeah, but if I were to port them into Sanctus, I would, of course, remove that. That there would be no need for that. But you will not be seeing my Sonic OC in Sanctus anytime soon. Yeah, it's ultimately the decision of the one who made the fan character, yeah. But yeah, even just recently, I went through, my art blog just to look at some of the old art that I posted. And there are a whole lot of character designs and concepts that I made once and then just never really had use for them again. So I'm just keeping that on the back burner, trying to keep those in mind for if I'm ever looking to make another fan character, that I should look into those concepts and designs that I made. Just so I'm like, wait, why reinvent the wheel, If you've got something that's, already pretty cool and pretty good, then why not just use that as the base and then go from there? just as a taste of it, I realized I had like a ninja character, I had a smithy character, I had an inventor character. Having a toy box filled with dolls. If I feel like playing with them again, I just have to open it back up. That I missed. It is the precious board back at it again with another fun stream. Hello, Ferox. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. And I hope you're doing well. Sometimes you make your doll smooch, sometimes you choose one to go through psychological terror, then nearly brainwashes them. Same diff, really. Exactly. See, you get it. You get it. Mackenzie is definitely gonna go through some psychological terror in a little bit, which is why I won't be able to show that on stream. But goodness, we're already at the 2-hour mark. Usually, I would wait until I'm actually finished with a page before I go on break, but considering how long we've been going, it depends. We'll see how far we get on this page. thinking of making a playlist of songs that would make the passengers extremely worried if you drove with those songs playing. Thinking of what goes on it other than game chase or time limit songs. Based on Sam Max will probably be a playlist called Songs to Drive Recklessly too. I already have one for consideration. You know Parappa the Rapper? You know the driving the driving test song? Where it's like you have to follow along with the counter and it's like, step on the gas, step on the brakes. Like, I can easily imagine just having that in the car, and then you just have the muscle memory of wanting to follow along. So yeah, I feel like that would be a good contender for songs to drive recklessly too. S-word, what? Did I say something bad? But the metal tinting, you like it? Thank you. Word is because I fished a big sword. Oh. I'm sorry. You have to keep in mind I can't hear when the fishing mini game is going on, so I have no idea when you guys are fishing, so I can't look over at the screen in time sometimes to see what you guys actually fished up. But yeah, you got sword. This one, didn't I? I think I did. I might not be able to use this color for too long though. Those colors that I do not have refills for. But yeah, on that playlist you were thinking about, would you also include stuff like Mario Kart or other like racing game OSTs for that? We've gotten this page done after all. Because I think this is the last color I need before it's done. speech is done, we are gonna go on break. Said I've got plenty. For sure, gaming OSTs parody songs. Songs about car rage. Friend suggested Baby Park. I don't think I know that song. At least not by name. But yeah, with that being said, I think we are about to go on to break. So, as usual, you can always summon the Borbs to keep you company, and the fishing minigame will still be up as well. So, yeah, before we head out, here are the finished panels. Thank you. But yeah, I am really proud of how these came out. And of course, these two are the standouts. That there's no other way about it. I think those two came out pretty great, but especially this one. And when we come back, we'll work on this one. So, get some drinks, get some snacks, get some stretches. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in a bit. watching the VOD saw anything? No, you didn't. But in any case, I'm not sure if we'll be able to get very far in doing the page, but I think I will at least try to get the inking done. But before then, we have our protective sheet right here. Repairman hates when when I do this. But I'm going to refill my marker really quick. Probably good enough for now. Jeez. Again, luckily we have the protective sheet. But I think at least we're done coloring for the day. Luckily, I do have plans for what the last couple of streams for May are gonna be, so we should be good. Especially since, you know, I'm looking forward to the last episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, so there's that. Speaking of light horror. I looked over and you frightened me before you said protective sheet. Hi, Repairman. Welcome back. I even said, I know you hate when I do that. But yeah, it's just gonna be a whole lot of character line art, I think. With just a teensy bit in the background. I've said I'll get buddies overholding their laptops in upsetting ways. Oh no. So yeah, it's not just you. I mean, to be fair, I understand why you're upset. But I'm also confident in my ability to not horribly mar my works like that. At least 90% of the time. Freak accidents have happened. have a fun rest of the stream. Thank you. Hope you have a good day too. And thank you for summoning Feather King for me. He appreciates you all being here too. Right, Feather King? Kinger. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. And thank you for the hydrate. I hope you're doing well. Doing very well. What about you? I'm doing alright. We managed to get one page done. And in case you weren't aware, this will basically be the last time that I update my comic for a while, because it's gonna start getting into some maybe not YouTube friendly territory, and I don't want to chance it by showing it on stream. But yeah, this is the page that we completed so far today. And we actually spent like a good chunk of the stream just working on this alone, like 2 hours. I feel like usually I can get through in like 1.5 or 1:45. But yeah, this one, that one took me over 2 hours to finish that one. So I'm thinking what I'll end up doing is I'll just finish the inking for this page, and then I'll be calling stream then. Okay. I think we're back. Oh my goodness. That was really weird. OBS, please behave. Well, it's a good thing after this we'll be ending stream anyway, so at least there's that. Looks amazing, by the way. 2 hours of work is quite a lot, and I'm glad with how it turned out. I'm glad too. Does kind of put into perspective like how much time and effort I put into like entire like stories then, huh? Because if I average like 2 hours a page, bear in mind this is after the initial sketching stages are done. So I would have had to like finalize my sketches first. So there's actually even more time beyond the 2 hours that I spend like inking and coloring. Like I feel if it were like a standalone illustration type deal, they like range between like 1 and 2 hours maybe. like as far as I've seen from like what I'm able to do on stream. But again, even then, those are like when the initial sketching is already done, because sketching takes the longest time, and it's usually not the most enjoyable part of my process to watch, because it's a lot of like sketch erase, sketch erase, sketch erase, because it'll take me a long time before I'm actually happy with a placement of something, and then start going and be like, all right, it's getting closer to what I had in mind. Goodness. Hands must feel like fire once you're finished. Mine get tired so easily. It's not really fire so much as like severe aching if I go for too long. Like even with stretching. That's why, like, way back when I did a stream where I said I would not end the stream until I finished the last pages of The Hunter's Tale. And that stream went on for 6 hours. Like, I think I took like 2 breaks, at least 2 breaks within that stream. But even then, like, by the end of it, I was going like, ow. So that's what led to streams becoming like between 2 and 4 hours. And usually I try to like stay at the 4 hour mark, just so I don't end up hurting myself like that again. 6 hours, goodness. I hope you got plenty of rest. I did. Thank you for the head pat. There it goes. But yeah, that was way back when I was trying to finish the Hunter's Tale. And if I am that close to finishing, I will probably not go so far as to do, another 6 hour stream. Probably. Maybe. A couple details in the background though. I gotta make sure I get Oh, you changed it back to Alfie. That's fair. And I'm really sorry if that's not, and like it was because I kept calling you Kinger. It does get a little bit difficult to like keep track sometimes. Not too long ago, I was scrolling on social media and noticed someone calling a pigeon Borb, and I was freaking out because I thought you came up with the phrase until I realized everyone used it. It felt very silly after that. Aww. I was the first instance that you heard the term Borb. I'm honored. But yeah, there's no need to feel silly. If you had no frame of reference, you had no frame of reference. But yes, Borb is a very well-used term. And I'm very aware of that. And I figured it's because that it's such a well-used term that a lot of internet goers would know if they just, saw plenty of pictures of birds that were round, that were called Borbs. Because they're bird orbs, they're Borbs. So I figured it was like a good way to have something like kind of familiar when I know like a lot of what I have is like original characters and original worlds, and it's just one of the few things I try to make everything a little bit more accessible to those who don't know my stuff yet. with that, I am going to call stream here. We got a decent amount of stuff done today. But unfortunately, this is where I will be doing stuff off stream for a while. But eventually, we will return to the actress's tale. And hopefully by then, we'll have a lot more we can do. I want to thank you all for joining me, whether you were in chat or watching the VOD later on. I appreciate you being here. And as usual, if you like my art and enjoy my stories, hope you consider leaving a like, a comment, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have already, thank you super duper much. I appreciate it. And if you're feeling super duper generous, we do have the Ko-fi link right up there. Alright, Mrs. Borb. No Mrs. It's not Mrs. Not married. You can go Ms. Borb, Miss Borb, Princess Borb. But not Mrs. Sorry, I forgot about that. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just letting you know. It's okay. You're good. I promise you're good. You're awesome and wonderful. But yeah, I really do appreciate you being here. It was really awesome to see you again. And I will rest well between drawings, yes. But yeah. For those who are feeling super duper generous, we have the Ko-fi, where you can buy me a boba, you can become a visitor of Sanctus, in which you get a borb attributed to your name, and they show up at the beginning of every stream. Or, we got stickers, which does include, yes, a borb. A princess borb. Yeah. See? Borb approved. Borb approved Borb sticker. And there's also stickers of my Harpy form as well in various outfits. Or you could get some of the various characters that show up in the Snapdragon Club series, including the ones that are coming up in the Actress's Tale, like Ruby Merchant or Mackenzie. But even if you don't get any, buy anything from the shop, there are free Borb emotes that you can download. You would love to buy a sticker one day? Well, no rush. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. But also, you take care of yourself first. I always advocate that. If you're low on cash right now, you know, prioritize yourself first. Don't worry about me if you can't afford anything right now. But yeah, that'll be all for today, and I will be back for another Tuesday stream where hopefully we can do some more art stuff. So, I'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend, everybody.